We live? Are we live? Did I do it? Did I fix it? Oh, I think we're live. What's going on? I made it. I did it. I fixed it, I think. I'm a freaking genius, all right? I'm so good at what I do, am I not? What is this? Hold on. All right, now we got the chat up. Look at that. Look at that. Just look at the quality that I bring you on this channel, okay? Ludwig, Hassan, get out of here, dude. Joe Schmo. Fucking Joe Schmo, dude. All the goddamn way. How are we all doing? What's going on? So, if you're watching this on the playback, because I post my live streams with no editing, it's me, Joe Schmo. Like and subscribe. I talk about a lot of stuff like this. I talk about drama. I give my take, you know. I'm one of those channels. I'm a commentator. And as you can tell, you know, super professional stream. I'm the best at what I do. Truly a master of rambling to figure out what the hell I'm gonna do next. So I'm gonna kill the music. Although Little V Mills is a vibe. Check him out, Little V Mills. Forces. This is the Berserk song. He's awesome. Okay, check him out. He does a lot of really cool covers. Really cool covers. I love that guy. But all right, now the music's all done. Yeah, Jonah Hill. I have not really looked into the drama. Is anyone in chat? I think only one person in chat. What's up, Akira? Yeah. So I don't know what you guys know about the drama. I don't really know much about it. I'm going to look it up live on stream here because it's easier for me to go live and just go over things than it is for me to sit down, think about what I'm about to say, and edit a video. So, you know, we're just going to go over this quickly because I kind of don't think I care very much. This is like not internet drama. This is celebrity drama. So I kind of don't give a shit. Jonah, should I just watch a video and react to it? Like, shit. Is that like really, is that like the level? Like, I mean, I just want to be the next XQC and make $100 million to sit and watch Batman, you know? So I guess maybe we should just do it like that because I'm going to have to look up all this shit anyway, right? My cat's trying to get into the room. He's not getting into the room. It can't happen. He is a freaking monster. He pulls down all my shit, and I am broke right now. If he breaks my laptop, it is over, okay? It's over. I'm looking up right now, guys. I'm looking it up right now. I'm a bit of a fence sitter on this one. I don't know anything about it. I have no clue what is going on. I'm looking for someone that may be quick to go over the shit. Because people always milk shit, you know? That's why I kind of just went live, because I'm like, how am I going to make a long video out of this? You know, it's like, at some point, you have to just be like, who cares? You know, is it really that big of a deal? I don't know. Haven't checked it out yet. So can someone just give me like a reasonable video here for me to react to? Okay. Would that be okay? All right. We are going to check out a video from Noah Samson. You may have heard of him. He's a pretty big YouTuber. He's a pretty cool guy. I don't have a problem with him. I think his video is 11 minutes long. May possibly be a little too long. Make sure you tell me if my audio's effed up. Is it too quiet maybe?
Hi and welcome and hello to the show.
So obviously I'm playing that in the background, but here we go. We got Noah Samson. He's going to go over the Jonah Hill therapy speak abuse. Now that's something that I have heard about. I've heard a lot of people are accusing Jonah Hill of abusing therapy speak, whatever that means. I want to start off by saying I don't know. To me, I feel like people are, I have no clue what's said here, but just from like the vibe I get from the term therapy speak being used, what the fuck is therapy speak? I feel like they might be just like grasping at straws to make the situation possibly worse than it actually is. And you guys know how I feel about that if you watch my channel, because there's a lot of people that I try to defend because they're in the right of an argument or on the right side of an argument, and they use tactics to make the situation exaggerated, and it makes it very hard to defend them to people that want to argue with me for defending them in the long run. So without further ado, let's just start watching this video, right? Oh, what do we got in the chat? Oh God, I'm a bit of a mess here. So what we're gonna do on my end, you don't gotta worry about this. I'm gonna do that. You guys can't see what I just did, but believe me, it's gonna be helpful. My cat used to just meow. Yeah, yeah, dude. My cat just is a freaking freak. And the other one would turn liquid and slide under my door somehow. Yeah, he can't do that. He's getting kind of big. I don't want to acknowledge it, but he is getting kind of big. So let's get back to the drama. For the replay value. Let's just keep the replay value strong here, guys. You know, like and subscribe, please. Leave a comment. Don't forget to leave a comment. Show my video to all your friends. We're trying to accumulate watch time right now, ladies and gentlemen. That is the goal of this channel. Subscribers are awesome. It's always a goal. Viewership is great. Obviously, the entire goal. But right now, the one thing that I'm trying to focus on is, because of YouTube asking me to, is actual watch time. So, all right. Let's check this out. I'll skip around a little bit to the juicy bits if I feel like he's doing what I'm doing and taking too long to get to it. So let's just go.
Hi and welcome and hello to the show, noahsamson.com. Jonah Hill, who you may have known from some movie or a show, sent some wacko stuff to his ex, whose name is Sarah Brady. It's causing a bit of a firestorm.
I'll check the Discord in a
internet.
second.
We're going to look at what was said, break it down, and talk about it a little bit because I think it's interesting and fun, and I'm bored, so I'm making a video. Plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate
So these are like
friendships.
So what is this? What is this? I don't understand what this is. He might have explained it. Are these like demands in the relationship? Plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, oh, so Jonah Hill is an asshole. Okay. Yeah, just from this, fuck Jonah Hill. Just insecure, you know, man shit going on here, it looks like.
To model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual
Oh,
pictures.
there's more? What the? Are these demands to, like, be with him?
Friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past, beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. So before we get into the content of the text, why are we talking about this? What's the context here? And well, the internet has actually had pretty mixed reactions, interestingly enough, with one side of people saying these are insane, manipulative, and the other side of the internet says this is awesome and dope. And
insane and manipulative. Do we think they're manipulative? Is that a correct way to phrase this? Oh, I do know what these are. I didn't read them. I just looked up Jonah Hill text messages because I knew that it had something to do with the text messages. And this is the image I kept floating. I haven't read it. So this isn't the thumbnail. I did not lie, though. I've not actually read these yet because I'm just trying to wing this one. What do we got here, though? Are these manipulative, guys? Plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself. Okay, so these are the demands, which the demands are fucking ridiculous. Obviously, if this is like, yeah, I mean, is it ridiculous though? Because if Jonah Hill is saying all this shit, then just like, don't date him then. If these are his demands for the relationship, I wouldn't date him. This is insane. This is insanity. He's clearly extremely insecure. I don't know what the psychosis behind that is, but yeah, he even says, if you can't do that, which these demands are, okay. So I do think I see why people are saying it's manipulative. It's because he's trying to justify these ridiculous demands as anything other than him just being incredibly insecure. Yeah, looks like attractive because she. Okay, he's trying to manipulate the narrative so it looks like he's the one being attacked because his boundaries aren't being respected. Is he? Okay, I get there's going to be more. But here, I'm trying to just approach this objectively as we move through it because I do have a unique, fresh take on this because I have not gone into this yet. So if you're watching this, allow me to cleanse your palate. As a dumbass who has no clue what's really going on yet. I'm not. So to me, these are unreasonable demands. There's some deeper issues going on here. Jonah Hill does suffer with his physical image for many, many years. It's very well documented. He talks about it quite frequently. And that may result in low self-esteem, Andrew Tate syndrome, low self-confidence, ridiculous standards for women, too post-sexual. So he's telling her, you can't be friends with men. That's what he's saying, right? Boundless, inappropriate friendships with men. Okay, so he's not saying you can't fuck other dudes. He's saying he's being very vague. And the connotations, the context of what he's saying, I feel, is very unreasonable. But he does end it with my boundaries with you based the way these actions have hurt our trust. So I guess it is manipulative in the way where he's he's trying to, in my opinion, knows he's trying to manipulate her to act a certain way, and the leverage to get her to act that way is we will not be together, right? And Jonah Hill's rich. I think she's a surfer, though. I did hear someone say she's a surfer, which explains the bikini and modeling pics, the swimsuit pics. But I've rambled a bit. Let's see what else we got here. Misuse of the term boundaries is important line here. Is that the therapy speech shit? Is that why people are mad because he used the word boundaries? I don't go to therapy. Not that therapy's bad, but is that a term that's used a lot? My boundaries with you based on the way these actions have hurt our trust. So did she cheat on him? Probably not. I don't think so. By the way, I mean, I would hope he would have just dumped her at that point. My boundaries. I don't know. I don't know if boundaries is a misuse of the word here. I don't know if that is a misuse of the word. I mean, if these are his boundaries, they're his boundaries. Fair enough. They can be unreasonable. They can be unreasonable boundaries, but boundaries nonetheless, right? Let me keep it moving for you guys, though.
With you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. So before we get into the content of the text, why are we talking about this? What's the context here? And well, the internet has actually had pretty mixed reactions, interestingly enough, with one side of people saying these are insane, manipulative, and the other side of the internet says this is awesome and dope. And
I do think it's manipulative, but I think it has manipulative undertones. I don't think it's just blatantly manipulative, if that makes any sense.
The fact that you guys aren't together means you dodged a bullet, Jonah, because these boundaries are normal. That's the scary part and what we're going to look at. The next part of these messages is where Jonah sent some screenshots from her Instagram and then wrote the following. Respect however you want to live your life. You only get one. Sort of done with explaining myself. She said, 3 remove, not the video yet. It is my best surfing video. Would you feel different if the cover frame was different? Any more specific ones that bother you? Yes, one that isn't of your ass in a thong.
Okay. What? Not a thong, but K. Yeah, he's being a dick. That's very clear to see. He's being a fucking asshole. Let's look at the pictures that he sent, if we can get those up. That is not a thong, Jonah, you fucking idiot. It's literally not a thong. That is one of the least revealing bathing suits I think she could be fucking wearing. It's literally just a normal bathing suit. There's nothing explicitly sexual about it. Wow, Jonah Hill is an insecure fuck. And I'm sure that she didn't just start surfing and posting pictures and videos of her surfing when she started dating Jonah Hill. So Jonah Hill started a relationship with this woman, seeing this on the timeline, decided that he wanted to have a relationship with her, and then afterwards asked her to stop. Don't date her. If you're not comfortable with this, then why are you even pursuing a relationship with her? Yeah, no, it's not looking good for Jonah Hill here, guys. Isn't that a one piece? Exactly. It's like a one piece, dude. It's not a revealing outfit. It's literally not a thong. Her booty cheeks are out a tiny little bit, dude. She's a girl. Girls like to show off their booty cheeks, dog. All right. You don't got it for a bad girl. Dude, too much for you, Jonah. All right.
Jonah.
She needs to get out.
Sent some screenshots from her Instagram and then wrote the following. Respect however you want to live your life. You only get one. Sort of done with explaining myself. She said.
Okay, so I see the manipulation here. He's trying to control her. He's trying to manipulate her. Instead of just not trying to pursue a relationship with her because he's not comfortable with her showing her little booty cheeks out of a one piece while surfing, which is she's a surfer. He decided to engage with her, try to start a relationship with her, and then afterwards try to be manipulative to get her to stop this behavior that makes him very insecure, which is it's very manipulative.
Had 3 removed, not the video yet. It is my
And she complied, and it wasn't enough. Like,
surfing video. Would you feel different if the cover frame was different? Any more specific ones that bother you? Yes, one that isn't of your ass in a thong. Not a thong, but K. Insecurity in relationships is a totally normal thing. You know, you really like someone and you're like, oh, I really like them. What if something bad happened? What if they meet someone that's cooler and more handsome and taller than me? What happens then? Oh, geez. Oh, gosh. I don't want to lose them. But that's something that you can work through with your partner and you can make it A-okay. This crap. What's surfing with men?
yeah, she's a surfer. What do you fucking
by
want?
yourself on a board in the middle of the ocean. What is that?
Exactly. It's not even like an extremely physical activity. What are you so insecure about, dude? Like, she didn't just start surfing. Like, you just, he is being manipulative and controlling. Yeah, he's that dude.
Why? How
He is.
insecure and unhealthy does it have to be for you that to be something that you're saying? Now, many have pointed out that this post is a pretty egregious misuse of therapy language, like boundaries, the idea of posting pictures in a bathing suit, how that's transgressing his boundaries. When this is something that he had praised before in her
I'm reading the
DMs,
chats.
the
I see
emoji
that.
saying, wow, nice photo. She wrote in the caption, yep, kind of.
Yep, like, kind of unbelievable that a man who sent me shit like this would be upset I didn't read his mind and take down the pics that once I was in a relationship. Yeah, no, that's totally, like, yeah, like, she's a bad bitch, all right? She's a baddie. Jonah wanted the baddie, man. He was like, yo, I'm going to shoot my shot, and he ended up landing, right? And then once he landed, he was like, all right, now take it all down. You're with me now. Like,
Kind of like unbelievable that a man who sent me shit like this would then be upset I didn't read his
just
mind
don't
and take
go
down pictures
be with her.
of
You
that
can't
once I was in
handle a baddie,
relationship
bro.
with
You're
him.
too
It's just very
insecure to
possessive
handle a baddie,
manipulative
all right?
behavior, obviously. It goes in line with a lot of manosphere stuff where the guys will sort of seem to be
100%.
exaggerating and using hyperbole when they say that it's cheating for a woman to have Instagram. You know, for a woman to post pictures of herself while not wearing a ghillie suit. And the thing is, it's really not hyperbolic because that's the mentality of a lot of people. That by showing yourself on the internet, inevitably a bunch of men are going to DM you and then you're going to cheat because you don't trust the person. Somebody.
And I don't get that. That's not something I get insecure about anymore. I was in a relationship where the girl cheated on me. I was with her for like 5 years, and I spent a lot of time alone after that. And I have a girlfriend now, and I like my girlfriend very much. But if she ever cheated on me, bye-bye. I don't need you. Sorry. I'm very self-sufficient, and I think everyone should be self-sufficient. I do not condone codependent relationships in any capacity. It is 2023. At least if you live in the United States, both parties of relationship have the ability to be independent from one another. You know, you come together, you collab, right? You collab in life so you can do a little bit better together. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's healthy that your entire existence and your way of life is only available to you through the relationship. I think that can definitely start, you know, that's not good. All right. You should be able to take care of yourself. I believe personally.
Who could best explain the boundaries thing is this guy from TikTok called Therapy Jeff. I know Therapy Jeff. He's the Therapy Jeff. And let's hear what he has to say about this.
Jonah Hill was using therapy speak to control his girlfriend Sarah, his now ex-girlfriend. And it's important that we go over this misuse of therapy language, which is kind of a thing these days.
All right.
And how it can be super problematic as it masks controlling behavior under a commonly accepted positive.
I'm trying to approach this with an open mind, but I'm honestly like, I'm getting hug box vibes from this therapy speak. Okay, but I'm going in with an open mind. I'm gonna try to listen to what this guy has to say because I'm going in a little biased because I don't really fucking agree with what he's saying. But let's let him go.
Concept, in this case, boundaries, making it harder for the person on the receiving end,
I'm gonna let
Sarah,
it play.
to challenge it. Okay, so Jonah is basically telling his professional.
All right, no, I'm not gonna let it play. How is boundaries therapy speech? Just because it's used in therapy, typically it's used as a speech tool in therapy to express oneself. So Jonah Hill's not allowed to use the word boundaries to describe his insecurities, his unjust requests for his insecurities. What do you mean she can't respond to herself? Simply, could she not? And check me if I'm wrong. I have at least one person in my chat. I could be totally not getting the fucking vibe here. Could she not respond with, that is very, like, something along the lines of, that's very unfortunate to hear, Jonah. I don't think I will be able to meet the requests of your boundaries. Something like, she can still respond. We're acting like he's holding her hostage with the language he's using, and I don't fucking agree with that. That's a stupid narrative. And someone's going to argue with me that Jonah's based and red-pilled, and they're going to bring up this argument, and I'm not going to have a good response to it because I kind of fucking agree with that point.
Surfer girlfriend. I am not going to be with you if you surf with men, have boundaryless friendships with men, model, post pictures in a bathing suit, or post suggestive pictures.
Codependent relationships are destructive. Take it from me, someone who was in one. No, they are destructive. I mean, it's okay to lean on your partner, but there has to be boundaries set, which is like not appropriate to use because we're, you know, this is because we're discussing it right now. But yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't want my girlfriend to be in a situation where I knew that she was extremely financially dependent on me, because I wouldn't want her to exist in a relationship where she felt she could not leave or had to put on a strong face with me because she knew that if she left me, she would be financially, she'd be fucked. And I also do not want the same thing for me because for similar reasons. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But you also, you know, it is also like, I'm sure it is, like, it's healthy to lean on each other. There's a balance there. There's a balance there. You have to find a balance there between supporting one another and becoming codependent on one another.
Pictures and are friends with women who are in unstable places. He goes on to say that these
I'm sorry, I gotta
boundaries
roll it back
for
a little
romantic
bit. I gotta roll it back a little bit
in
because I didn't listen
unstable
because I can't shut my
places.
fucking mouth.
Super problematic as it masks controlling behavior under a commonly accepted positive
Fuck.
concept.
All right.
In this
All right.
case,
I'm sorry. I can't shut my fucking mouth. I'm gonna let him talk this time. I'm gonna let the man cook. I promise.
Jonah Hill was using therapy speak to control his girlfriend Sarah, his now ex-girlfriend, and it's important.
I'm so sorry, but I gotta chat here. Jonah Hill is using language that automatically makes him look like the good guy. That's what Therapy Jeff is talking about. Therapy Jeff, shout out. Sorry, I'm not acknowledging him on purpose. You don't want to go against the victim. I disagree, and the example I will use to why I disagree is the fact that I read this before knowing this is what they were talking about with therapy speech, and I already thought that Jonah Hill was the bad guy here and thought that his boundaries were completely unreasonable. I do not think it's necessary to go the extra miles and try to say that he's using therapy speech to hold her verbally hostage in this conversation. I think there's many ways that she could respond. And I'd also go, they're rich, right? They might be going to couples therapy and using this language quite often to communicate with one another. So I disagree. I am sorry. I think so far the therapy speech narrative is just unnecessary, but I could be wrong. So let's let it play. With no freaking audio because I'm a live streaming pro, dude.
Which is kind of a thing these days, and how it can be super problematic as it masks controlling behavior under a commonly accepted positive concept, in this case, boundaries, making it harder for the person on.
So we're mad at the way he was manipulative. He's being manipulative, okay? Fair. But I don't get the therapy speech thing. I don't understand it. He's being manipulative. That's obvious. He's being manipulative. He used the word boundaries. So we're not allowed. So now it's a whole other thing. No.
On the receiving end, Sarah, to challenge it. Okay, so Jonah is basically telling his professional surfer girlfriend, I am not going to be with you if you surf with men.
Stupid.
Have boundaryless friendships with men.
Stupid.
Model, post pictures in a bathing suit or post suggestive pictures and are friends with women who are in unstable places. He
Stupid.
goes on to say that these are my boundaries for a romantic relationship. Jonah's use of the term boundaries in this message is a misuse of the concept.
The concept of boundaries? It's a misuse of the concept, not a misuse of the word in a linguistic sense, but a misuse of the word just in general. Like, this is like the concept of boundaries. Dude, no, that's fucking so stupid. You could have a racist mom. You could have a racist mom, and she could say something so terrible and awful as, listen, little Joe, I just don't want you bringing any black girls home. That is a boundary. That is a boundary. That is a boundary your mother is setting. Is it wrong? Yes. Do you have to respect it? No. Is it a boundary? Yes. So is that a misuse of the concept of boundaries? No. So therapist Joe here, I feel like he needs to go touch some fucking grass. Personally. Okay, we got some chats. You don't want to go against the victim. If you were in a relationship with him, the dynamic would be different. I've been in relationships. I've been in a few relationships. I am someone who I think at one point in my life I was kind of toxic. And a way that I try to combat coming off as toxic or being toxic is I will talk in a way where I'm trying to I will use words like I feel this way about this. The critique there, the nuance there is I at least try to actually fucking listen, and before I say things, I try to establish whether or not they're justified or not. What Jonah Hill was asking here was not justified objectively, and I would definitely agree that he was being manipulative, but I don't think that we have to take the entire argument into this conversation about what the word fucking boundaries means. He's being manipulative and he's being controlling, and I think that's enough. I don't think we have to take one word he used in this conversation and make a whole fucking separate debate about that. It's fucking stupid. It's a waste of time. It's dumb. Usually someone outside the spot manipulative immediately. It's both, to be honest, it's misuse of this concept of boundaries. I don't know. And to be fair, Kira, if you have a lot of experience with therapy, you know, I'm willing to accept that I just may not be versed enough on the topic, but what I am versed on is having relationships and talking with people. Not that you aren't, but in my personal experience, I would not have taken. This is not the take I would have had. That's all I'm saying. This is not the take I would have had. Jonah Hill, manipulative, yes. Jonah Hill, controlling, yes. Jonah Hill, toxic in this relationship, yes. Jonah Hill is misusing the concept of boundaries. Well, why do we need what? We were good. We were already okay. We were fine. What is this? Why? It's because this guy has a therapy channel, so he had to make it about his channel. Therapy Jeff. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me, at least. If you misuse it this way, then that's damaging to how it's supposed to be used. But I don't know. I'm gonna just move. I'm gonna move on here. Qualification. Okay. Boundaries is the context. Doesn't refer. Boundaries in this context don't refer to qualifications like what Jonah Hill is trying to do. Boundaries in this case are supposed to mean personal boundaries. Would these not be personal boundaries? Like, see, this is the problem right now. Like, we're having a whole conversation over the boundaries instead of talking about what a piece of shit Jonah Hill is. If you misuse it in that way, it damages what we're supposed to be used because they are trying to talk about why it's manipulating therapy talk. I think it's just manipulative talk. I think you could have taken the word boundaries and used any other word there, and it still would have been just as manipulative and just as toxic. But honestly, this is kind of my point. We're going to have a whole conversation about this one word that was used here instead of talking about what a piece of shit Jonah Hill's being. So I'm going to move on, but that is my take on this therapy talk shit. I think that is the take I'm going to stand by for now.
A boundary is a healthy limit a person sets for themselves to protect their well-being and integrity. It is a rule or guideline that one creates to identify reasonable, safe, and permissible ways for others to behave towards them and how they'll respond when someone passes those limits. However, in the message Jonah sent to Sarah, he is not setting boundaries that protect his emotional well-being. Instead, he is dictating what behaviors and friendships Sarah is permitted to have. He's essentially instructing Sarah on who she can be friends with, what she can do professionally, and how she can show up online. This is not an example of healthy boundary setting.
No, but it is an example of boundaries. Like, why are we picking this fight? Why is this the fight we're picking?
Instead, it reflects an attempt at control. It demonstrates a lack of respect for Sarah's
Absolutely. 100%. I agree with everything he's saying. Other than that,
message is more about restricting.
These are not personal boundaries for Jonah. He's claiming that something Sarah does somehow infringes on his boundaries. He is claiming that, and he feels that way, and he's fucking wrong, but that's how he feels. And and that's why it's toxic and bad and wrong. I agree with everything else he's saying here, but I don't know.
Sarah's behavior to suit his comfort levels and insecurities rather
Yep.
than expressing
Yeah,
his
I agree with
feelings
all
or needs
this.
in a healthy manner.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Love you, Jeff. One thing that was
I
sort
like
of
him.
fascinating to me about this whole thing, but also very unsurprising, was the amount of people supporting Jonah in these boundaries.
Bunch
Kinda
of
just
fucking
telling on
insecure
themselves about their sort
red
of
pill
demonic
men.
views about relationships. Here's real Candace O, aka
Oh, fucking Candace Owens, don't even get me started. I'll let him read it.
Candace Owens, some Prager, some conservative lady. There's literally nothing wrong with Jonah Hill's leaked text messages regarding what he wants in a partner. But
I'm sure she feels that way.
there's plenty wrong with women in society today.
Let's talk about how this is a societal issue. Yep, Candace
Basic
Owens,
respect for
everybody.
your partner is now being labeled as misogynist.
Basic respect for your partner, like giving up all of your personal hobbies and all of your friends and staying at home all day and wearing a fucking ghillie suit so nobody can see your body. Yeah, okay, yeah, great. Great, Candace Owens.
From insecure women. Anytime you
Oh,
go
the woman is insecure because she's showing off her body, not the boyfriend because he doesn't want her to do it. Shut up. She's so stupid.
into your place of work and you see a man and you turn away and walk towards the wall and then run through the wall like the Kool-Aid man, that's basic respect. Women these days can't do that because there's something wrong with them. Notice the framing there of what he wants in a partner as if it's just preferences, you know? We've seen the preferences card used before. When what he wants is like absolute control in like various facets of this person's life, and to be able to fully restrict their behavior with no recourse whatsoever for the relationship and for what that means for the person and their own relationships in their own life.
Yeah, dude. Candace Owens is a freaking idiot, dude.
Here we had Devin Booker, who's a basketball guy. Apparently, he shows support for Jonah Hill. He put a salute emoji there. So here you have all these fantastic Twitter blue replies. The first reply you
dude,
get
the
is
Elon
emoji
stands.
that's already in the post. If you pay for Twitter Blue, fuck you. Nice, more emojis. That's good. Thank you for your input.
Turkey Tom had a really bad take with Twitter Blue, and I thought about it because I like a lot of his takes, but once in a while, that was a Turkey Tom take that was fucking stupid.
But what all men should do, good, he did nothing wrong. This is a good tweet in my opinion. If your boyfriend says not to post that bikini pic, ask him if that's the Jonah Hill he wants to die on. Very good, very good. I like
That's
it. Very good,
awesome.
very good. I like it. Remembering that one time Jonah Hill's co-star refused to kiss him for a wedding scene, so they had to use CGI for it? Oh my god. Oh.
That's why Jonah Hill has body issues, because his whole career he's been just shit on. There's a compilation of Jonah Hill getting made fun of for the way he looks. Like,
God. Why? What happened? Very good, very good. I like it. Jonah and I were both uncomfortable going ahead with the kiss. It wasn't just me, y'all. There was no physical chemistry between us at all. Y'all think it's awkward with CGI? The real thing would have looked worse. Oh, okay. You learn something new every day, I guess. There's a few other perspectives on this that I want to share that I thought were interesting and seemed to be indicative of a lot of people's experiences. So let's check those out right now. Let me clear something up for the men of Twitter. Jonah Hill wasn't actually offering to leave the relationship. If Sarah Brady had agreed it was best to part ways, he would have changed tactics to try to get the outcome he wanted.
I agree with that 100%.
That's how ultimatums and abuse work.
Yes, 100%. He was giving her an ultimatum, and he was disguising it as a reasonable conversation. And then that's where we go down the conversation we were having before about the words that were used by him. But regardless, yeah, I completely 100% agree with that.
Ari Jonah Hill's gross text. My therapist recently changed my life when he stopped me from saying someone was violating my boundaries and explained that boundaries are values you impose on yourself and your own behavior, not rules you can enforce on other people.
Let me digest that. Maybe I'll change my take here. Jonah Hill's gross texts. My therapist honestly changed my life when he stopped me from saying someone was violating my boundaries and explain. Okay, hold on. I'm trying really hard here. I am trying so fucking hard here. I swear to God, I'm trying right now, guys. Jonah Hill's gross texts. My therapist honestly changed my life when he stopped me from saying someone was violating my boundaries. Therapist changed my life when he told me to stop saying someone was violating my boundaries. I'm not supposed to say that someone is violating my boundaries. All right. And then my therapist explained that boundaries are values you impose on yourself and your own behavior. Boundaries are values you impose on yourself on your own behavior. Not rules you can enforce on other people. Says fucking who? Oh man, I don't get it. I'm still in disagreement over this fucking boundary discussion. So here's my take here, I think, with this specific point. My therapist honestly changed my life when he stopped me from saying someone was violating my boundaries. Who is your therapist to tell you what your therapist can say and you can have a conversation with anybody over the legitimacy of your boundaries, how legitimate they are, how rational they are, why you're setting these boundaries, if they're healthy boundaries, but stop me from saying someone was violating my boundaries. What? Like, you can set a boundary about anything. Okay. I disagree. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And it explained that and then the therapist then gave his definition of what boundaries are. Okay. So the boundaries as described by the therapist were boundaries are values you impose on yourself and your own behavior, not rules you can enforce on other people. So yeah, okay. Hold on a second. Hold the fuck on a second. In therapy, is the reason that people are so hung up over this misuse of the word boundaries is because when people are learning how to communicate and process their emotions, sometimes they can justify toxic behaviors in the form of boundaries. Is that what I was missing? Do I get it now? Do I fucking understand why the boundaries thing is such a big deal? Because this is something commonly practiced in therapy, when someone is trying to teach and to teach boundaries as a tool for protecting themselves and their own mental health. Did I get it? Okay. All right. I get it. Okay, I still have my disagreements here with how we're using the word boundaries, but I also understand that conformity in language is important to come to a conclusion and resolve issues. So I'm willing to get off my Jonah Hill on this one. I'm willing to do it, although I still, but I still think that therapy is therapy, and you don't talk to people in the real world like you talk to a therapist. So while I completely 100% understand where this is coming from now at this point, I do think that we like look what it's doing right now. Like when you're discussing this outside of a therapy, you're discussing the morals of the situation. You're trying to have a conversation like this about whether or not this was appropriate. Now the entire conversation is dragged down because a bunch of people that actively take therapy are bound up around Jonah Hill's use of the word boundaries because their therapist taught them about boundaries in therapy to teach them skills on protecting themselves and their mental health. So I think there's a time and a place to be dissecting words this thoroughly, and I don't think it's in this situation. But I now completely 100% understand why people are so hung up over the boundaries thing. I get it because I get where he may have had therapy and had these things communicated to him from his therapist and chose to use it in a manipulative manner anyway, which would be a fantastic example of what a piece of shit Jonah Hill is. But it took me that long to come to that conclusion. Okay, nobody made that point. It was like, okay, I'm making that point, but all right, we're going to move on. You
impose on yourself and your own behavior, not rules you can enforce on other people. There were also some other texts that didn't get shared as widely that I'm sure are great. Take some accountability and operate with respect. It's that simple, because I'm tired of your attitude towards surf culture that contests in that place because I deserve respect.
Then why are you dating a surfer?
I've been more than patient, and then shit like this is still here. Beep that contest, beep that place, and beep not respecting me and every...
What? Dude, why are you dating a surfer? That would be like me getting with my girlfriend and her telling me that YouTube is cringy and I don't get any views, so why do I keep making videos? It's like, dude, fuck you. Why are you dating me then? I told you I make YouTube videos. Get over it. And he even hit her up because he saw her surfing, dude. He knew. He was aware of the situation. Why is it a problem now? Because Jonah Hill is an insecure pussy. Take some accountability and operate with respect. Respect. Yeah, he's being extremely manipulative. Yeah, as if you're not respecting her. Why are you so entitled for her to see things your way? She's not hurting you or the relationship from surfing. You are hurting the relationship by the way you're responding to her surfing because you are an insecure fucking pussy. Take some accountability. It's simple. It's that simple. It's so simple, you dumb girl. You dumb girl. Dumb idiot girl. Girls are stupid. I'm a man. Listen to me. I'm Jonah Hill. Because I'm tired of your attitude towards surf culture. She loves surfing, you fucking asshole. How dare you say that to her, you piece of shit. Because I'm tired of your attitude towards surf culture. That contest and that place because I deserve respect. So does she, asshole, and so does her hobbies. The hobbies that you were aware of when you started dating her. You fucking piece of shit. But period. Because I'm tired of your attitude towards your hobbies and the results of your hobbies and the places you go to do your hobbies because I deserve respect. Period. That's what he just said. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. And if he's misusing therapy speech, it is indicative that he's possibly going to therapy. And I'm going to say this, if I may understand the situation one more time. If he is using therapy speech to manipulate her, and we're coming to that conclusion because of the way he used the word boundaries and how he misused the word boundaries in an effort to justify his controlling manipulative tactics, that is fucked up, and it does add a lot more context to the situation. So I understand now why we're so worried about that. But it needed to be communicated better because not everybody goes to therapy, and they just think, especially red pill people who are going to go on Jonah's side here. They don't understand therapy. You gotta bridge it. You gotta do a better job of explaining these things because, yeah, okay. Jonah Hill made a 2-hour movie about a 10-year-long therapy journey. And is now seen here. I'm being told by my chat, who is much more versed in me in therapy, that he's using speech patterns indicative of therapy in a manipulative manner on his girlfriend, which is extremely fucked up. And that seems to be why people are so hung up over the boundaries issue. Understood. I should make a video about this now because now I feel like I have something to genuinely add to the conversation because I did not understand that. Yep. Oh, that therapist died. It was a great movie it was a great movie about a great therapist, and it's awful that Jonah Hill is doing this because of how good that movie was because the therapist died. Wow. What that sucks. I have been more patient about what? What is he being patient about? Her doing the same shit she was doing when they started dating? Surfing, wearing a one piece? Shut up, Jonah. Fuck that contest. Fuck that. Let me read what he's saying. Let me read what he's actually saying. Fuck your hobbies. Fuck the places you do your hobbies. And fuck you for not listening to me when I tell you to quit all your hobbies and stop talking to your friends. Always, in every situation within you and your hobbies and your friends. You don't get it. That's what he's saying. He is totally, okay, I get, yep. This is all coming together now, baby. We're unraveling it.
Here, beep that contest, beep that place, and beep not respecting me in every always situation with surf culture. You don't get it. And you don't get me. It's hurtful and unacceptable to me. Get it? I don't know if you get it or care or give a shit about that shit or more than ever after Dr. Stern. Literally just say hello and leave the convo. I love how your therapist thinks I suck. I literally am the best boyfriend on earth.
I'm going to say it next time me and my girlfriend are going to fight. I'm going to go, how dare you be mad at me? Don't you understand I'm the best boyfriend on earth? Unironically say that shit. Wow.
Boyfriend. One really interesting detail here is that Jonah Hill made a whole documentary about therapy.
Chat said this.
Experience with therapists that he.
Akira said this.
There they are, just two guys hanging out. And so taking everything you've learned from your time at therapy, only to spin it back on someone in a bad way, is really kind of interesting. And you see this a lot now with the popularity of stuff like this on TikTok, where the language around manipulative behavior is just being shifted into a more palatable and excusable manner that allows people to hold power over their partners in ways that they feel are justified beyond what they would have been before.
I feel that he's doing a very, if my understanding of why people are upset is correct, I feel like he's doing a bad job of explaining it, because I don't think it matters much what tactics are being. Have you never dealt with a manipulative person before? They're not just going to come over to you and say things in a manner that they do not believe will be perceived as reasonable. Him using therapy tactics is no different than any controlling person I've ever met in my entire life, trying to justify why they feel they're in the right in any given situation. So I don't know. This is a very weird fucking take, and I think he did a very fucking poor job of explaining it. I'm sorry.
Oh, so dating a guy who gets mad at you for being the person he was attracted to in the first place is a universal experience. Cool. Yeah, if anyone's had experiences like this, drop them in the comments, because I think this is like interesting to read about. This is a quote from Trevor Noah, I think. The way my mother always explained it, the traditional man wants a woman to be subservient, but he never falls in love with the subservient woman. He's attracted to independent women. He's like an exotic bird collector, she said. He only wants a woman who is free because his dream is to put her in a cage. I've seen folks tweet that if Jonah Hill wanted a girlfriend who didn't post bathing suit pictures or have guy friends, he shouldn't have dated a surfer. But
yeah, duh.
Here's the thing. Emotionally abusive and controlling men don't want submissive women. They want to take strong women down a peg. That's the whole entire point.
I think that's a thing. I think that definitely happens. I think that because there's lots of submissive women, right? There's no shortage in the world of submissive women. I mean, you have just a pearly things, like, you know, that pearl girl. You have lots of girls who are very, very willing to be submissive. They have a lot of old-fashioned takes in life. And, you know, if these men like Jonah Hill really were like, that's what they were looking for, I think they would just find someone like that, obviously, especially if you're Jonah Hill. But there's something to Jonah Hill and other men about finding a woman that other men find desirable. Normally that means the woman is very confident, and she's she's showing traits of herself, like her body, that other men would find desirable, which goes back to the confidence thing. So they want that, but they also want exclusivity. And that's not even the right word for it, because it's not just exclusivity, it's complete control of that person because of their insecurities. So they find value in the woman based on how other men will perceive them. And then once they have the woman, they want to control the woman, because now that they have her, the insecurities begin to set in. Totally is a thing. Totally is a thing.
Also, men like that will never ever be happy. Once you stop posting bikini pics, they'll find something else to hold over your head. The fun for them is the control, not the result. If you have a boyfriend like this, please know that
I don't think the fun is the control. I think the fun is the result. I think that they become very insecure once they bag the baddie, and the result is the baddie goes away and everyone just knows they're together and how bad she used to be back before they got together and the boyfriend ruined her. So I don't agree with that.
his gaping hole of need and insecurity is there to stay. You can't fix or fill it. He'll paint the constant manipulation as a sign of your relationship's complexity, but it doesn't make him deep, it just makes him shitty. Calling it a boundary doesn't make it any less of a rule. To go back to like how this ties into red pill stuff, the ideal woman or the high value woman according to these men is the submissive, the trad wife, the young, brand spanking new human that you can impart yourself upon. But because reality is so different from this caricature that these men seek after ravenously, what this idea being professed results in is just men going into relationships, and when they don't fulfill these expectations of the ability to exert power and control over someone that may have been viable.
I think there are instances of people getting off on the control aspect of a relationship, but I don't see any evidence that that is what Jonah Hill is doing. I think Jonah Hill very, very much is just as likely to just simply want to control the girl to the end result of her no longer doing things. So he feels like he has more control over her and the relationship because he is very insecure. I don't know why because it's more fun to say he's just trying to control her because it gets him off, right? That's more fun than just saying Jonah Hill's very insecure. That's why he's attempting to control her. Because in a way, you could kind of run that into an avenue that makes Jonah Hill into the victim here. Which Jonah Hill is the victim. Not in this situation particularly, but overall. I mean, the whole life, the dude is all the money in the world, wildly successful, and is still this pathetically insecure because of the way that he was treated for the way he looks his whole life. So in a way he is a victim, but not in this particular instance, and none of that excuses the way he's treating his girlfriend here, by the way. So
in the sense that it was less socially discouraged then than it is now, means that you got all these wackos going around trying to make sure women don't have any friends and can't even go out and do their job or go out on the ocean and hang out with the fish. The last thing I want to say here is this is a pretty good example of how the go to therapy approach to dealing with men that are kind of weird little guys isn't a great catch-all by any means, because you can go to therapy and then all you get from that therapy is validation in your shitty actions and linguistic ammo to fuel your continuation of those shitty actions. That is, setting aside all the other issues with that phrase, go to therapy. Good tweet from Prezzo here.
What the fuck was that point? That was a dumb take. That was a supremely dumb fucking take. That was stupid as hell. Hold on, I could be wrong. Hold on.
But it doesn't make him deep, it just makes him shitty. Calling it a boundary doesn't make it any less of a rule. To go back to like how this ties into red pill stuff, the ideal woman or the high value woman according to these men is the submissive, the trad wife, the
Not
young,
this.
brand
I don't
spanking
care about
new
this.
human that you can impart yourself upon. But because reality is so different from this caricature that these men seek after ravenously, what this idea being professed results in is just men going into relationships, and when they don't fulfill these expectations of the ability to exert power and control over someone that may have been viable in the sense that it was less socially discouraged then than it is now, means that you got all these wackos going around trying to
I want to get to the part where he talks about the therapy. I'm not worried about any of this shit.
make sure women don't have any friends and can't even go.
I mean, I don't like it. I agree, but I also think there's other reasons he could act like this. I think this is just the narrative that paints him in the worst light, which could be the case. I don't know. It's not a very in-depth look at it. It's not a very nuanced conversation, if I'm using that word
Do
correctly.
their job or go out on the ocean and hang out with the fish. The last thing I want to say here is this is a pretty good example of how the go to therapy approach to dealing with men that are kind of weird little guys isn't a great.
So this is the part I supremely believe I disagree with, and I just want to make sure I didn't mishear him, because I've always, and I don't go to therapy. I have my I don't even want to speak upon the issues I have with therapy because they're my issues to deal with, and I think overall most people have very positive outcomes from therapy, and most people that go to therapy will tell you that. Most of my friends who've gone to therapy will tell me that. So I believe that therapy's a good thing, and I think that couples therapy can be a good thing as an avenue from that, and I believe he probably thinks the same thing. The take he's about to make with that context is actually fucking insane. I believe what he's about to say, and I want him to try to say what I think he's about to say, and we'll see if I'm wrong after he's done talking, is going to therapy isn't good because it could possibly just give your toxic boyfriend or significant other therapeutic linguistic skills to be a toxic piece of shit. That is a fucking insane take. Of course, anything you ever do to resolve a situation could exacerbate the issue, could make the issue worse. But to not even attempt to get help, what are you supposed to do? Just live and deal with your toxic boyfriend with no remnants of assistance? Not going to therapy and even attempting to have someone else look at the situation and establish if it's good, if it's bad, like how we can fix it? This is a stupid fucking take. Let's see how far off I am from what he actually said. Hopefully I'm very far off. Hopefully I'm very, very fucking wrong.
Kind of weird little guys isn't a great catch-all by any means, because you can go with men that are kind of weird little guys. What I say here is this is a pretty good example of how the go to therapy approach to dealing with men that are kind of weird little guys isn't a great catch-all by any means, because you can go to therapy and then all you get from that therapy is validation in your shitty actions and linguistic ammo to fuel your continuation of those shitty actions. That is, setting aside all the other issues with that phrase, go to therapy. Good tweet.
That was a shit take. Am I wrong? That was a fucking god-awful take. He did say that. He was like, this is why it's not good to go to therapy if you're having issues in your relationship and your boyfriend's being toxic, because it could possibly and maybe give your toxic significant other more tools and ammunition to use against you to be a toxic piece of shit. So you're just supposed to get no fucking help because it might not work and make it worse? That was fucking stupid. That was dumb as fuck. He's more or less saying that therapy isn't a fix-all, and sometimes you need more than just therapy. Well, no duh, I agree with that. But if you're in a situation where you're letting a man abuse you to this level, or maybe you're not, you know, like maybe you do have the tools and capacity to understand what's going on is wrong, and you need a third person to help you evaluate the situation to come to that determination. You are now, in my opinion, discouraging people from getting to that point, because you're telling them by getting a third person involved, they could potentially side with the toxic person in the relationship and potentially even give them tools to make the situation worse. So a more realistic thing to say would be, not realistic, a better thing to say, what should have been said here, should have been, therapy is good. And that's why I don't like to see Jonah Hill misusing therapy talk here. It's very disgusting to see a potential negative outcome to therapy. So while I endorse therapy and I think therapy is very good, it is also important to discuss things with family members and get different perspectives of a situation, because therapists are people too and can be shitty and wrong sometimes. That's what he should have said. That's not what he said. That's not what he said. Unfortunately, because he has a huge platform, and I feel like that could have very, very fucking negative repercussions, what he just said.
From Prezzo here, or Jonah Hill yourself. Like that one. Great work, Prezzo. Great work, Prezzo. Okay, everybody, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Just a little quick one. Interesting little thing going on. Let me know what you thought of these little shorter ones, and I'll see you so soon. Bye.
Overall good video. But I definitely think that I don't know. I feel like I had a lot. I feel like I don't know. I don't know why I had so many hangups with the video. Other than I'm a little stinker. I get mad about things. But no, it's a good video. I mean, he's not wrong. I just don't think there's much, like, the problems I had with the video were the way he described things. I mean, maybe what it is, you know, people that go to therapy would all just kind of be on the same page here for some of it, like the use of the therapy talk, but he didn't do a very good job of explaining that. And there's a lot of people, and honestly, the people that this conversation matters most to, the fucking red pillars, the people that will defend Jonah Hill, they're not going to understand that. And they're just going to pick apart the fact that you're crying over him using the word boundaries. You're going to look like a fucking pussy because they don't understand why that's an issue. And you did not explain why that is an issue, other than just saying it's therapy speech. And I don't think his take was good with the therapy thing. I understand it's not an all fix all. It's not what he said. He was like, this is why it's not always good to go to therapy with dudes, because they could possibly just get more ammunition and, you know, become more justified to be a piece of shit. So, and then he just didn't follow up that. He just continued on talking to the next topic. I gave my take there, and I don't know if this is what he's trying to say. It's not what he said, but therapy's good, and I do agree though that therapy can make issues worse. That doesn't mean you should not pursue therapy. If anything, that means you should just be aware of the fact that therapists are just people, just like you and me. They make mistakes. They misread issues. They misread situations, and because of that, you know, therapy is very good. A therapist is definitely a good start, but, you know, you also should be trying your best to try to look at the situation objectively and, you know, have people to talk to about things other than just your therapist, because the therapist could be a piece of shit too, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't go to one. Therapists are good. If you're having toxic relationship, go to therapist. Good. But also talk to your mom or your dad. All right, let's check out the Discord. What else have we got going on? We have something that we want to check out in Discord. I know the stream is titled, it's still Jonah Hill related. It's a Philly D video. I got in my Discord here, Philly D, Kira, who's in my chat right now. She's the only one in my chat, so you can see her right there, right here. This is her. She's in my Discord right now. Join the Discord if you're watching this long. If you watch this long, you probably like the content. You should join the Discord. Links in the description. We got a Philly D episode, and Kira's asking, here's the one I watched. Joe, therapy speak will be explained to you. It's a bit nuanced. Always is. Language is very nuanced. And I understand the value in being on the same page when talking about something. I do. I genuinely get that. and I have been persuaded a bit on the other direction. I just wish that Noah Samsen here, and just people in general, would preface that a little bit. They would do a better job explaining that, because it opens a door for unnecessary debate, and we should be focused on the wider topic. All right, I'm gonna open up your link.
Ya llegó Prime Day. Compra ofertas épicas durante 2 días y siéntete muy especial.
Today, we're talking about the leaked Jonah Hill text.
My audio good? He's more him. Oh, did I miss pronoun? I apologize. I may do that. I'm just gonna call everyone dude. Everyone's just a dude, okay? I will try to get in the habit of just saying dude. I apologize. It was not intentional. Anyway, we're gonna check out Jonah Hill. Philip DeFranco. Let's listen to what Philly D had to say. I'm just gonna go to, because he's gonna talk about some other shit, right? Larry Nat, no, sponsored co. Okay, we're just gonna watch the first part. That's the Jonah Hill part. Let's check it out. Let's get filled in.
Today, we're talking about the leaked Jonah Hill text messages scandal that has split the internet in two, why the U.S. government is now going after Logan Paul, new Ozempic concerns, and how one U.S. senator is single-handedly making our military weaker and more vulnerable. We're going to talk about all that and so much more on this.
Philly D, what's wrong with your quality? Holy shit. I don't, dude, I just genuinely, going back to the chats here, you can see above my little head. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Glad it wasn't a big deal. I just wouldn't want to offend anybody. I was concerned I might have really offended someone, especially you, because you're like my #1 stream viewer, and I appreciate the views. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It can be a big deal to some people, right? That's a big deal to some people to be misgendered. And I wouldn't want to hurt someone if I would be doing that and someone did get hurt. So we'll get off that topic. Sorry.
Brand new Philip DeFranco show, you daily dive into the news, so buckle up, hit that like button, and let's just jump into it. Starting with this Jonah Hill scandal that has split the internet in two. Is Jonah Hill an abusive misogynist? That's a question and debate that took over the internet this weekend. And that's because this weekend, Jonah Hill's ex-girlfriend, surfer Sarah Brady, shared several screenshots of messages from Jonah on her Instagram.
Yo, I love the Kirby. Are we missing? Is there any new tea here? Oh, there is new tea here. I just constantly doesn't reflect that where at and where you say you want to be. I respect your skill and your surfing. I respect a piece of shit. I see I see the therapy talk here actually, but maybe it's not there. Maybe he's not being manipulative. I think he is, but there's a chance he's not. There's a chance that he just learned these tools through therapy and now he thinks he's being reasonable. He thinks he has legitimate grievances and he's trying his best to communicate that in a healthy manner. Unfortunately, there's nobody in his inner circle to smack him along the head and say, dude, you're being an insecure piece of shit, knock it the fuck off. Or maybe he knows it. Maybe he knows it, guys. He probably does, I think. Probably. And I respect however you want to live. I also respect myself and when I'm interested in my own life. Well, dude, just don't date her. If you you shouldn't have pursued her. Okay, let's let Philly fill us in, guys.
Story. With it starting with messages where they were discussing Sarah's posts on Instagram of her in a bikini, where Jonah is seemingly asking her to take them down. Also, some of the other messages appear to show Jonah disapproving of Sarah's choice to model and the people she interacts with in the surfing world. And while sharing these messages, Sarah has been calling Jonah abusive, narcissistic, and misogynistic. Though the message that's gotten the most attention is this one, where Jonah appears to say, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless and appropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. With that screenshot specifically sparking the biggest reactions. And depending on where you were looking online, the reactions were so drastically different. Where you had some people agreeing with Sarah's.
I don't like this whole idea that okay, so there was a debate, but I'm 100%. I am, in my personal experience right now, have seen the minority of people sticking up for Jonah Hill. So to act like it's this oh, it's this debate. It's this debate online. No, everybody thinks that Jonah Hill's being a piece of shit. Anyone who matters, anyone whose opinion matters. I don't know. Philly D makes me giggle sometimes, man. Because controversy breeds reaction, and reaction is how you get the views, baby.
His labeling of Jonah, saying things like, Jonah Hill is an abusive misogynist and shouldn't be in any relationship with anyone until he can sort himself out.
I don't know, but yeah, I think it's more of an insecurity thing, and he should definitely try to get a little bit better grip on the insecurity thing before he gets in a relationship. 100%. I think calling him a misogynist is a bit much. I don't see any evidence of that personally. Yeah. No one should try to it's just insecurity, dude. I think it's just insecurity. I don't think it's like, I think that you shouldn't do this because you're a woman. I think you shouldn't do this because it makes me feel like you're going to get banged out by some other dude and leave me. Okay? That is what I think is the issue. But I know just about as much as them, so fuck it. No one should try to isolate their partner from their friends. Yes, 100% agree. Undermine their job. Yep, it's not even just their job, it's their hobbies. You're validated to pursue your hobbies. It doesn't even matter if this was her job or not, which it is. But even if it was just a fun thing she liked to do, it shouldn't have been brought into question. It's a completely innocent pastime. To try to take that away from her is extremely fucked up. To control their clothes and social media presence, you know?
No one should try to isolate their partner from their friends, undermine their job, and control their clothes and social media.
Lots of popular people seem to agree with you. Yeah, like what? The fucking basketball player? The fucking piece of shit, like there's a bunch of popular people that I don't respect their opinions, you know? And the majority of people already think they're fucking pieces of shit, you know?
Media presence. Others also accusing him of using therapy language to abuse and control his girlfriend, arguing boundaries are the type of behavior you accept from others when they interact with you. Telling someone how they should behave with others and themselves is not setting boundaries, it's controlling them. He's literally weaponizing the language you learn in therapy. Many people.
That was a very good explanation. If I would have watched this first, I would have had a much better understanding of why people were so upset about the words being used. I get it now.
Also jumping onto the fact that Sarah is a semi-pro surfer, so photos of her in a bathing suit just come with the territory. Others have also pointed to messages that Sarah shared showing Jonah liking the photos Sarah had posted of her surfing in a bikini at the beginning of their relationship. But then...
Yo, Adam. Yo, what's up? I'm actually kind of mixed, honestly, trying to open to why people are super upset with him. I mean, Kenneth Owens and Devin Broke. I think it was wrong, but I'm also not... But also not despicable, as well as Trevor Noah and lots of people. Kenneth Owens definitely. Yeah, fuck all of those people, Akira. Adam, I just got schooled on all this shit. So I'm actually I don't know when you got here, but I'm actually kind of mixed up, honestly, trying to open to why people are super upset with him. So he's exhibiting clear instances of him possibly, I mean, I think he's being very manipulative. We can go back to the texts that we got here with Philly D. So this is the big one. Where's the big one? Yeah, so plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless and appropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with your women who, I'll just let him read it.
Women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. With that screen.
So the problem people have with what he just said is they come across, and there's been other instances as well, to the point where I'm in agreement that he is being very manipulative with her. And I believe it's all rooted in insecurity. It's like that typical fresh and fit, like your girl's cheating on you if she has an Instagram. She is a professional surfer. As a result, there are lots of pictures in bathing suits. There is one specific picture that Jonah Hill asked to be taken down where she's literally wearing a one-piece bathing suit, and he refers to it as her wearing a thong, which is obviously incorrect. And the other issue that makes things more diabolical, it adds to the idea that he's being very manipulative, is the fact that he did like a whole movie going over therapy, and he was very close with a therapist, and they did this movie together. So Jonah Hill, on book, has a very, very, very strong understanding of therapy, and he is using terminology that is typically used in a therapeutic setting in a manipulative manner against his girlfriend, which is fucked up. And that is where, if you're hung up where I was hung up, because I did not understand specifically, everyone is very, very mad about his use of the word boundaries. These are my boundaries. So just that is just one example. I guess that's the strongest example of him using speech typically used and defined in therapy to help people, just through therapy. Therapy is to help people. Okay, this is speech that's typically used in therapy, and it's being used here in a manipulative manner. And the lines there to therapy are not just out of nowhere, because Jonah Hill did a whole fucking movie about therapy and is, as a result, an authority on the issue. He's very versed in therapy. So yeah, I'm actually kind of mixed, honestly, trying to open to why people are super upset. That's why people are super upset. I just went over a bunch of the stuff. There's definitely very, very, very negative implications to a lot of things he said. I would definitely understand anyone who believes, and myself being one of them, that he's being manipulative. I disagree that he's doing it because he's some sort of evil misogynist. I think that Jonah Hill is deeply, deeply insecure because he's been made fun of his body, his whole fucking life. But regardless, yeah, that's that. I think it was wrong, but not despicable. Yeah, the despicable thing, I think, comes from the lines to therapy speech. And I don't like that word because it can confuse you. It confused me. But yeah, the similarities that people who are familiar and do therapy, the similarities they are seeing here in how he communicated his bullshit to her using techniques that are typically used in therapy to come off more reasonable, which is extremely fucked up and very, very, very manipulative. And that argument has there is a very strong argument to that. That is exactly what's going on here. So I'll keep playing this now.
These are my boundaries for romantic partnership, with that screenshot specifically sparking the biggest reactions. And depending on where you were looking online, the
I agree with the idea that he's insecure and is overall wrong, but the requesting those kinds of things and overall wrong. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic, guys. This is going to happen sometimes. I agree with the idea that he's insecure and it's overall wrong to be requesting those kinds of things from his partner. Yeah, it's not just wrong though when you add in the factor that people are adding in, which I think that you have enough of a case without adding in the therapy speech stuff, but the therapy speech stuff does make it much worse. I just looked into it and got understanding of it myself, and it does add a lot of flavor to this dish. However, it's like when he says, if this isn't going to work for you, that would be okay. No hard feelings. It seems he was comfortable with breaking up with her. Yeah, but was he? Was he really? The therapy speech is being it's being very fucking poorly explained. I had to kind of crack the code myself just now. I had to understand this myself just now. You're in a similar place to where I was. The reason you keep seeing the therapy speech brought up, because that is showing that he is using techniques, psychological techniques, to try to take these unreasonable requests and present them in a reasonable manner, where he's just, oh well, if things won't work out, but these are my boundaries. And while the therapy speech thing is unique to this situation, I don't know about you, but I have known many relationships that were very toxic, where the toxic person in the relationship would be very comfortable stating, oh, you could leave if you don't like it. You've heard that before, right? Well, you can leave if you don't like it. Is that reasonable? No. That's what he's saying here. Why does it come off reasonable? It's because of the way he's saying it. But it's still the same thing he's saying. He's just trying to be manipulative in the form of trying to present it to her. He's giving her an ultimatum, which is very, very manipulative. And this is just one instance of him being very, very manipulative. But he's giving her an ultimatum. But obviously you can't just go up to this girl and be like, if you don't want to be with me, then fucking leave, bitch. Because then she would just leave, right? That would be like Dunsky. That would be over. That's super obvious what you're doing. So he's using the technique of therapy speech. He's using these techniques he learned in therapy to try to manipulate her. And that's being very poorly explained. I hope I did a good job of explaining it. Don't forget, this was about 3 months into the relationship. Yeah, and also all of the things that he is complaining about, she was doing before they entered the relationship. So that's his fucking problem, not hers. So this is why it does become a bigger issue than just him making requests. I stand by that. Yeah, I hope I did a good job of explaining it, because I also wasn't getting it. Oh, I see. I don't really think of it that way. Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't either, dude. Trust me. Like, if you go back in the stream, I was like, I pretty much had the same take as you. He's like, yeah, this is kind of fucked up, but I don't really get, like the therapy speech thing. Why are we picking apart words and how he's speaking? And I'm not familiar with therapy, so that's kind of why it went over my head. But yeah, no. They're all examples of him being extremely fucking manipulative and fucked up. I mean, him referring to a one-piece suit as a thong is a more clear example of him trying to take an unreasonable request, take down this photo because I don't like it. Why don't you like it? Because you're wearing a fucking thong. She's wearing a one-piece suit. She's not wearing a thong. You are knowingly, you're on the cusp of understanding that you're being completely unreasonable in your request, your boundaries. But then you're straight up lying about the photo that you and me can both see that she's very, very much so not wearing a thong. So that's a more blatant example of him being manipulative and twisting the situation to appear more reasonable, so people side with him, or not even that. It's just so he looks better to her, mostly.
Reactions were so drastically different.
That's true. He should not have been with her if he didn't like all that stuff about her. Exactly. So why did he be with her? Why did he get with her? Because he got with her, didn't think he'd land it, landed a baddie, got very, very insecure, and then began manipulating her because he's a deeply insecure person, unfortunately. It's a shame.
Some people agreeing with Sarah's labeling of
Oh,
Jonah.
fuck. We're not in the right view. Hold on. Sweet. All right. There we go.
Jonah Hill is an abusive misogynist and shouldn't
Like, I don't agree he's a misogynist. I think that he's just super insecure.
be in
Personally.
any relationship with anyone until he can sort himself out. No one should try to isolate
Which doesn't
their
make
partner
anything
from
any
their
better.
friends, undermine their job, and control their clothes and social
Yeah, exactly. So no one should try to isolate their partner, which he absolutely is trying to do, while coming off reasonable. That is what he's trying. That's the end result. Isolation from their friends. That is the end result of what he's asking of her. He packages it in a way that's reasonable. It's not reasonable. That's fucked up. Undermining their job. He does that as well with the surfing. That is her job. And honestly, it doesn't even matter that it is her job. If it was just a hobby, it would be just as fucked up to ask her to stop doing the hobby that she's been doing well before she met you, because it's making you feel insecure that she might surf with another person that has a penis. And control their clothes when her clothes were completely reasonable. She's wearing a one-piece swimsuit for surfing. She was not wearing a fucking bikini or a thong, as he put it, which is completely false. Not correct. He's being very manipulative.
media presence. Others also accusing him of using therapy language to abuse and control his girlfriend, arguing boundaries are the type of behavior you accept from others when they interact with you. Telling someone how they should behave with others and themselves is not setting boundaries, it's controlling them. He's literally weaponizing the language you learn in therapy. Many people also jumping onto the fact that Sarah is a semi-pro.
I don't like I think it goes the boundary thing. I think people are regurgitating what their therapists are saying to them. And I think their therapists are saying that to them for this exact reason, because when you're teaching someone boundaries, and I'm not a fucking therapist, I just learned about this tonight, so fucking bear with me. But from what I've come to understand tonight here, how boundaries are used in therapy, I think it would be very easy for someone to take those concepts and use them to justify them just having toxic behavior, like what Jonah Hill is doing. So that's why we're seeing this regurgitation without any nuance, in my opinion, any meaningful commentary of this is what boundaries are, not this, because that's what their therapists are saying to them when they go to therapy. So they don't take these tools that they're teaching them, boundaries, and use them to justify toxic behavior, which is what Jonah Hill is doing.
He should behave with others and themselves is not setting boundaries, it's controlling them. He's literally weaponizing the language you learn in therapy. Many people also jumping onto the fact that Sarah is a semi-pro surfer, so photos of her in a bathing suit just come with the territory.
Like, is that like sexy? Is that super duper like hot? Like, is that like dude, that is the least fucking revealing swimsuit in the world. I mean, it's not, but like, it's not even like, this is fine. I could see a grandmother fucking wearing this swimsuit, okay? This is ridiculous.
Others have also pointed to messages that Sarah shared showing Jonah liking the photos Sarah had posted of her surfing.
That's true. He should not have been. Oh, you already read that. Yeah.
in a bikini at the beginning of the relationship. But then if you go to a different place on the internet, or maybe the algorithm's just feeding you different people, there were a lot of people coming to Jonah's defense, arguing that what Jonah was doing
Here you
wasn't
go, Kira.
abusive,
Here's
it's
the
just establishing
defenders.
personal boundaries. With people saying things like, the problem with most relationships is that one partner or
blue
the other
check
don't
mark.
set their boundaries. She may not agree with the boundaries, in which case he laid it out as no hard feelings, and saying that's not abusive, it's good and reasonable communication. It's okay if they're not a match. As well as, how does the issue become control?
I want to look at these actually, because like I feel like I could get through to these guys. The problem with most relationships is that you do understand that most people don't see themselves as evil. Most people think they're justified in their actions, or they wouldn't be doing their act. Most people are not just fucking evil and doing things to be evil. They misunderstand situations and have weak skills to, like, self-reflection skills. The problem with most relationships is that one partner or another don't set their boundaries. She may not agree with the boundaries, in which case he laid it out as no hard feelings. That's not abusive. That's good, reasonable communication. It's okay, they're not a match. Yeah, but that's what that's this take on what Jonah Hill said is exactly what he wanted her to think when he said it. The Jerbot 3000 blue check mark here is falling victim to the tactics Jonah Hill is using to appear reasonable, but when you actually look at what he's doing, he's being manipulative and unreasonable. So Jerbot 3000 check mark is not a bad person. Jared checkbot, he is checkbot. Blue checkbot boy is a victim to Jonah Hill's manipulation and the tactics he is using to manipulate, which are being poorly communicated by the wider commentary community at this time. Thank you.
Good and reasonable communication. It's okay if they're not a match. As well as, how does the issue become control if the counter is that she should be able to think and do for herself?
When was that ever said? I've just sat here for an hour reading these messages. I have no clue what he's talking about. Silver tongue.
Was any request for change of behavior control if you always have the freedom to leave? Like, how?
Because again, another victim of Jonah Hill's control, like his manipulative tactics here. He's packaging it in a reasonable way, and that's exactly how these people are perceiving it. Some of these people are just red-pilled idiots, I'm sure, but yes.
How is the man suddenly a bad person because he is communicating his needs? Also, many in this...
Yeah, but his needs are fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Why is the man the problem? Men! I wish I had a soundboard, guys, so we could play sad music. Men! Why is it only a problem when men communicate their needs? Because his needs are fucking insane, okay? He's saying that, again, I will drop it after this because I've said it too many times. I understand that. He's saying insane things in a reasonable way. Okay, he's saying, quit your fucking hobbies. No, he didn't say that. He did. Okay, he doesn't feel comfortable with her surfing because she might be around dudes. Okay, so how do you surf and not be around men ever? You just stop surfing. Okay, and friends are bad. Just stop talking to your friends. Stop your hobbies. Stop your job. It's making me insecure. Very unreasonable. That's why he didn't say that. That's why he said it in a way that would be palatable to her. Okay.
Cam finding Sarah's timing here suspect, because these two didn't just break up and now she's reacting to it, with them appearing to have broken up a while ago and Jonah just now having a child with his new partner.
This is T. They didn't just break up. I thought they just broke up.
Which is why some have characterized Sarah as a bitter ex who's weaponizing messages to lash out. Though with that, you have people pointing to Sarah saying...
I mean, it's possible, but it doesn't make it any less justified. I mean, she could be bringing up shit that was fucked up because she's feeling bitter herself. Just because Jonah Hill's a piece of shit doesn't mean she's a great person either, okay? I don't think that takes away from what we're talking about here. Jonah Hill being an insecure little bitch.
In one of the posts that the release of these messages is more to do with her own mental health than anything else. And so for now, that's where we are. Sarah's continued to share reactions.
But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I'll just leave it to the audience. Watch, here it is.
Instagram story. Jonah has yet to respond to the whole situation. But with all that said, I gotta know, which camp?
Yeah.
Are you with Sarah?
Fencing
Jonah,
little
or is
bitch.
there some in between? What are your feelings? What are your opinions? Let me know in those comments down below. And then remember.
Yeah, guys, remember. I don't really know, guys. What do you think? What do you think about the Jonah Hill thing? I'm not really sure. Misogynist, manipulative. I don't really know. Let me know what you think down below. I want to know what you guys have to say. Like, shut up, dude. I hate when he does that. Is chat alive? Is anybody here still? Did chat die? Is chat dead? Ooh, we had 3 people at one point here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We fucking murdering it. We're killing it. We're doing so well. Anything else anyone wants me to look at? I'm going to probably get off. I'll give it a moment. Play a little V Mills. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did you guys like what I did with Jonah Hill's eyes? I thought it was cool. Okay, we got some chats I want to read. Hold on, I'm going to play Little V Mills, and then you guys yell at me if the audio is bad, because I have no fucking way to tell. Oh.
Come on, Reese's. Did you really wake up looking like this? Smoking.
All right, got some chats
Wake up,
here.
Achievers. This is a next level bed for next level you.
Visit sleepnumber.com to shop now.
All right, we got Adam here.
2,000 on thermometers. 2,000 stratus.
Is this too loud? I'll turn it down a hair. I agree with the idea that he's insecure. Oh god, I shouldn't have antagonized you, guy. Now I have lots of shit. Okay, however, I like... However, I like it when he says, if this isn't going to... We already read that. Don't forget, this was about 3 months into the relationship. Yeah. Oh, I see. I didn't really think of it that way. That's true. He should not have been with her. Absolutely. I'm always here, Joe. Thank you, Kira. You're my ride or die. To be honest, I've been insecure about stuff like this in my own life. So have I. That's why I'm speaking about it the way I am. Because, unfortunately, I feel like I may have been a Jonah Hill at one point in my life. So I have that perspective. So I guess I just sympathize. But yeah, I was also still in high school at the time, and I've grown out of it. Yeah, exactly. That's another technique that I was told that is taught in therapy that's helped me, is like, I will sometimes think about things that I did that I do not like, and I will hold myself, current day Joe, my name's not Devin, it may be Devin, hold current day Joe accountable for things I did when I was like 13. I'm not a 13-year-old kid anymore. I'm a 26-year-old man, and I don't have the same values and act the same way I did when I was in high school. So that's something that someone told me, that their therapist told them, and it actually helps me a lot, because I have a lot of trauma, and it's not even trauma from things that happened to me. It's because of things that I did to other people. Things that people do to me, I get over. Things that I did to other people, I do not get over, unfortunately. Not unfortunately. You're a dickhead? All right, learn how to live with it. But I was a dickhead to some people in my life, and I think I deserve to once in a while have to wake up in the middle of the night upset about shit that I did in high school. All right? I believe I should carry that weight, personally. I find the topic of therapy very interesting, but it's not something I ever want for myself. I have my own ways of dealing with things, I believe. Which isn't a very good thing to say. Most people should probably do therapy. I don't know. I'm moderately healthy, right? I have good relationships. At one point in my life, I probably should have had therapy, but I started watching PewDiePie when he would do his videos about like mental health and how to deal with issues, and those helped me out a lot. I think it's why I find therapy so interesting, because I was fucked up at one point, and I never did therapy, but by learning about therapy and learning techniques people use in therapy, it helped me a lot. So I do see the value in it, although I've never actually done therapy myself for my own personal reasons. So that's a little bit about me, guys. But yeah, I'm starting to ramble about myself, so that's probably a pretty good time to end the stream. Thank you very much for watching. This is definitely a very interesting topic. I really enjoyed talking about it. Kira was very, very helpful in helping me understand why the therapy speech talk thing was such a big deal. I didn't quite get it at first. I still think that it's taking away from the larger conversation, but at least I understand why it's being brought up now. And I wish people would do a better job explaining that. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. PewDiePie seems so chill about mental health. It's really refreshing. Yeah, dude. I was down bad, and PewDiePie really helped me a lot. That's why I started doing YouTube, I think. Because like the difference PewDiePie was able to make in my life, I would love one day to be able to have a platform where I could do that to some other kid that's way, way down bad. Yep. It's a big reason I do what I do, honestly, genuinely. Yep. So I didn't start doing this till after that. I never even watched YouTube. I didn't get into YouTube till I was like fucking 22 years old. I didn't watch any YouTube till I was like 22. I didn't start watching PewDiePie till I was 22. My fucking girlfriend broke me. I lost my job, and I just fucking found him one day, and that's what I did. I watched PewDiePie. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me, but I don't want to ramble on too much. That's the end of the stream. I'm very busy at work. I have a lot to do tomorrow. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I still think I'm always gonna try to do a video later this week. So if you have any ideas for something you want me to talk about, shoot them up. Some topics I don't do because I do try to like test out how well it's going to do analytically, algorithmically, and there's some ways to test that. So I wouldn't mind doing a video about this because I feel like I could do a better job explaining the therapy speech stuff for some red pill dudes that don't quite understand why people are upset. But also maybe I should sleep on it before I make a whole video about it, because for all I know, I could just be talking up, like I could be wrong, right? But yeah. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I like the frame rate when I do that with my lips. You see that? See? All right. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.